Breathwork changed my life, now I'll help you change yours. In 2013, my world was turned upside down when my partner was murdered. I was thrown into grief, a place I never expected to be. The last decade plus has been a journey of healing, learning what works and what doesn't. Also how to rebuild from the darkest of places. I founded Vidya Breathwork, a method designed to make healing simple and accessible, and now I train facilitators to share this transformative practice globally. Welcome to The Dark Side with Verity, the podcast where we get real about transformation, growth, and stepping into your strength. Let's dive in. Welcome to The Dark Side with Verity, the podcast where we're going to all the real and raw aspects of grief, healing, transformation, all the raw details that deserve some space. Because breakthroughs are amazing, but they're the end part. And people could look at your life and be like, wow, like this is amazing. What are you achieving? What are you doing? Reality is there's always a story behind how you got there, what you overcome. So on today's episode, I'm going to chat to you about my life living in Darwin after travel, because reality kind of kicks in and you realize that you've got to keep living life. There was kind of the aspect of getting through to the court case. Then I turned 30. Then I went traveling on this holiday, and then I had to come back and find a way to live in the real world again. It was a lot, like having to work, having to do all the things, all the normal tasks that people do were a lot tougher. They felt a lot harder. Life just felt harder. And so there'd be moments where I felt like I'd achieved, I was feeling good, and then I would feel like I'd take 20 steps back. But it's like a scribble of healing, isn't it? It's not even like a wave that goes up and down. It's just a massive ball of mess. And that's why compassion needs to play a really big part. This was when I decided to step away from interior design after my big high rise was done, and that was amazing. I really needed some time just to be, and the gym was always a really big space in my life of feeling good, like that endorphin hit, dopamine in your body, like that's what I was like chasing, because drinking and partying and avoiding didn't work anymore. We were at the part where anxiety would creep in way too much, and I just came to a point where sober was just way better for my mind. Don't get me wrong, I'm great at partying, but it's not cohesive to me moving forward and wanting to be happy in life. There's a time and place for everything, but for me, there just needed to be a really big break from it all. So as with anything, I did it to the extreme. No drinking at all. I was like super healthy, back to green juices, and that then became my life because I got a PT when I returned. My PT was Hector. I used to work on the door with him at Discovery. He was a security guard, and he owned a gym and was training people. It's like, yeah, cool, I'll come and train. And this probably wouldn't work for most people, but it worked for me because I had returned with a broken arm, and the only way that they could fix it was to re-break it. And I, in my mind, was like, there's no way. I don't have time for this. I need to work. Like I haven't been working for a long time. And he just looked at me with this strange face. He's like, what, you can't move your body from there down? I was like, okay, you tell it to me straight, so I need to come and train with you. I trained with him. I then ended up studying health coaching through Paul Chek and his philosophy of like the 4 doctors and really living, eating organic, drinking healthy water, moving your body just seemed really in alignment with what I wanted to do. So with this, it allowed me to train as much as I liked. And I also studied to become a PT. I ended up working for Hector and training people in the gym. So I just loved it. It was another thing that I thought that I could control. How much you eat, how much you train your body determines your outcome, right? It's like this simple, no-brainer logic, and it felt good because the stronger I felt in my body, the more I could overcome in life. And I did. I just kept like building muscle. I lifted really heavy. He even convinced me to train for a powerlifting comp. I never actually competed because although I could lift really heavy, I was only eating like half the amount of carbs because when I signed up for it, I was like, I want a six pack. I want, with body image issues, it was never how heavy I could lift particularly. It was always like what my body looked like physically previous to now. And so I wasn't eating as much carbs as he said. So I would get a little bit depleted. But I just said to him towards the end, like, this is not for me. I don't really care how much I can lift. I just need to make sure my head, my heart, my body feels good. And that worked for me. And I've sort of had that mentality since. I saw so many benefits from weight training and I still weight train. I love it again. I also needed the flexibility. This is when yoga came into my life. I would go once a week and basically at the start it was just to catch up with a girlfriend. It was just something fun to do, stretch your body, move, cool, sounded great. Over time, if I would miss a week, that's when I would notice the difference. It's like, oh, I think this is actually doing a little bit more than just stretching. It's actually helping my head. And that was kind of like all I was looking for. Like, how can I stop my brain from thinking all the time? How can I just find a little bit of peace, a little bit of peace and quiet, a little bit of calm, time where I just wasn't stressed, anxious, thinking about the past, the future, just wanted to be present. And it wasn't until like I would take it away that I noticed the difference. So I decided to add yoga to my next certificate training. And I flew to Bali, did my 200-hour training. This part of the training was to read The Power of Now. Although it didn't really make much sense then because I've read it 4 times since. I just loved being out of my mind and in my body and somatically like moving in a way that wasn't rigid and structured like weight training. Gave me flexibility in my body because I always translated. So strong in my body, strong in my mind. Same. Like that was all good until something didn't go my way or my perceived plan. I also then had to learn to be flexible physically, but also mentally. And so that challenge, like I didn't really know much about yoga before. I just thought it was, yep, stretch, exercise. But there's like 8 limbs of yoga. It's how you breathe. It's how you live your life. Like yoga is a way of life. So when people say they don't align with yoga or they're not into it, I genuinely feel you just don't actually know what it is. Because I didn't either. It's very, I guess, very westernized. If you see like models on Instagram in a cool yoga pose, like that's not really the meaning of yoga in the sense of, I mean, it is for some, they're moving their body in their way, but for every single person, like how you live and their namas and yamas, all of this is like a really beautiful aspect that I will talk more about this so you guys know, if you don't already, because I really love making yoga accessible for everybody. Like in my class today, there was 4 new people that had never done yoga before. Like this lights me up. Same with breathwork. If you've never done it before, that's what I love. It's like you're opening this new world, this new box of what's possible in your reality, in your creativity. And I get sidetracked. So having yoga in my life gave me that really beautiful balance. And it always comes back to the duality, right? It's you're strong, you build muscle, you get tight, you rip your muscles, and then you try and be flexible to move it through. So I've like lived like that for the past like 15, 13 years. Yoga gym, yoga gym. And so there has been times where I had a bit of a break for the gym, realized my body needs that. So then I'd go back. There's all different types of yoga though to suit your body. Look at me preaching yoga. Look, give it a go. Because as we get older, our body needs muscle, but it also needs flexibility. Like if you fall, you want to make sure you're not breaking and cracking everything. This pattern of studying continued. I went and did a healing retreat in Bali, and this was like healing on steroids for me. It was the first retreat I'd ever done. It was with 7 other people, and I realized like when I went how structured I'd become and rigid with my training and how important the yoga aspect was. Because as soon as they took away like my protein or my food or I had to fast, it really like messed with my mind. And in that retreat, I met some amazing people. Like I thought my world had ended. And then as everybody would share their stories of what had happened, a guy my age had grown up in war. So he was terrified of like loud noises because it was just like bombs going off and him having to hide under the bed. Another lady I met had been raped 76 times. There's just the stories were horrendous of what had happened. And I just remember sitting there going, like, yeah, I get that that's horrible. I really had like no feeling towards it or no emotion. So I was pretty quickly reminded that my body was still in very much survival mode because they're like, do you have anything to say? Not really. And then I ended up speaking to the retreat leader. Like, I almost feel like I feel bad, like I should be crying for them, or I feel sad because I understand this is horrible, but I just shit things happen in the world. And it was a really weird realization of how much my mind and my brain had shifted from previous. And this retreat really opened my eyes to what was possible. Because if these people could overcome stuff, I could overcome. It's just really getting to know yourself because you're not doing things intentionally to hurt yourself or others. You just don't really know any other way, and hurt people hurt people. So it's really understanding what your body is trying to show you. Because overarching, it's always a way to cope or to protect yourself. It's not a malicious intent to hurt. So this retreat space seemed all really like new and exciting for me. Me learning, going on retreats became like this bit of a pattern because all of this was new to explore, new ways of feeling better. How exciting. New ways of moving your body or being able to transform how you see things, your perspective, or how you feel was what really set me off on this path of learning. And if you knew me in school, I was not great at school. I find it very hard to focus. Hated studying. Or I just didn't. Reading. That's another thing. I'll tell you this here. When I was a kid, I love connection. So I love being part of things. I was in a book club with my sister and 2 other of our family friends, and they all loved reading and they loved the Babysitters Club. I hated it. And so mum knew that I would never be reading the books. I would just flick through, maybe read the back if I was lucky. But I would be at every meet and swap. Like I would swap the books around each week just so I was part of the club. I wasn't even reading. Had no idea what the books were about, but my sister loved them and was obsessed. This popped up again recently. I posted on my story the book Verity because everybody keeps telling me to read this book. It's probably not a book that I would pick up, but I do love a good book recommendation. So I've posted that I'm going to read it. I get all of these messages saying, oh, you won't be able to put it down. Don't read it at night. Oh, this book. You're brave. So instantly I've gone, oh no. Like at this point in time, I'm creating my podcast, developing my app. Like I don't have time to read this book. Like what is this book? Am I going to be terrified? Am I never going to be able to put it down? Am I going to lose a few days of my life reading? And I felt the same feeling of when I was younger, like, oh my God, am I going to have to like tell people I've read this book now? So I've messaged my friend who's reading the book also. I'm like, you have to read it first. Tell me if I'm going to like it. Tell me if I should read this book. So I'll keep you updated on that. And when I finally do read the book, if I will let you know what I think. Oh, we're so funny, aren't we, humans? We just want to like be in this space of connection and be a part of something. I mean, I'm not going to lie about it now, but this is when I was, I don't know, when did Babysitter's books come out? I would have been in primary school, maybe like year 4. No idea. Timeline thing again. See, have no clue. Doesn't matter. When I was little, I always found it difficult to focus unless I was really interested in it. So studying interior design, loved. Studying anything related to health or making me feel better, I'm on it. I researched every detox diet, every food way of eating to make myself feel better, tried every therapy. Like, it's a fun journey, but that then becomes another distraction too, doesn't it? Like, I am crafty about how I heal. It's why it's why I'm sharing my story, because we can think that all of these things are doing us well, but maybe it's just another reason not to feel. It's why in my OG program that I ever made it's called Breathe to Heal. It's like all of the healing that I did that made the most sense. And it's all work that you have to do. It's sitting with your thoughts, it's journaling, it's breathing, it's eating right, it's drinking enough water, like basic survival needs, right? And it sounds ridiculous when I say it out loud. But having these techniques, they're things that open my eyes and my world to how I could really change and feel content a lot more of the time. Because I didn't really find any solace in trying to make sense of the world or why or all of this. And that was another huge part of the healing process. Like, yes, being back in Darwin, but people having their opinions of your life. No one knows your life. No one's been through what I've been through. No one's felt the way I felt going through that. So, like, things people say, oh, aren't you so lucky that you've got a house to live in? No, I don't care if I don't have a home. I would just want Josh to be there. Or, oh, isn't it lucky you've got this? Not one bone in my body felt lucky because he was gone. Bless everyone, and I know it's like part of the process. It's just weird and wild what people think is appropriate to give their opinion on or say. So it's probably a lot of the reason why I have this like dark side, because internally I'm just laughing. I know people, again, don't have bad intentions. Everyone's just doing the best they can with the tools that they know. So this is why this podcast was born. So you all can have a bit more insight into what feels good, what doesn't, but also when it happens to you, because life is like that. It is a whole learning to sit with your emotions. And that's what Breathe to Heal is all about, because it's something that I avoided for a very long time. So this 6-week journey is very close to my heart. It's why I made it very accessible for you all to share, listen, learn. Most of all, just take time for you. So take time to journal after this. What emotions do you feel easily? And what emotions do you generally avoid? We made it through another episode. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for continuing to listen to my story and share this space with me. It means the world. Much love. Bye. That's a wrap for this episode of The Dark Side with Verity. I trust it's given you clarity, sparked awareness, and allowed you to breathe a little deeper, plus a little takeaway to integrate into your life. If this has resonated, I'd love you to leave a 5-star review, of course. More importantly, I would love you to share this with someone who's on their journey and needs a little bit of assistance. Come hang out with me over at Instagram at VerityJoCoonan or The Dark Side with Verity, or start to explore Vidya breathwork at verityjocoonan.co. Until next time, breathe deep, trust the process, and keep expanding. Much love.